What was the consensus of most people when you said you were coming to America to do burnouts? Or like your community of burnout guys? Were they like, that stupid American burnout contest suck? Or were they like, maybe you can show them and
a lot of
bring
people,
the Lord of bring the name?
I'm a bit conflicted with a lot of the opinions about people. A lot of people say, yeah, go to America and show them Americans what's up. And I don't like that attitude. I'm coming to your country. I'm just here to have a good time. So a lot of people online, they're saying, yeah, the Americans got no idea and this and that. It's like, I nearly want to delete their comment and say, man, we're coming here to do burnouts together and have a good time. I'm not trying to... Obviously, you've seen the call-out video. That's a bit of fun.
Yeah, of course, building hype for an event. It's nothing.
Yeah, Cletus didn't actually splash me in his jet boat. That was that was all that it did. The real thing about the video, I actually did fall off the car. I went to put my hand down, and I'm getting splashed, and I missed it, and I just fell off the car. But it's a big thing for me. The Australians are you're a dreamer. And my whole life I have a plan, and I've actually wanted to do this for 3 years. I was never in a financial position because this cost a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I felt like I want to do this because I'm getting deep now, but if I'm going to die or leave this life, I don't want to not take an opportunity to do something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So in the end, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to have a good time and see what happens.
I mean, right now is the opportunity, like you're saying, like when we all leave, I like to hope we don't all leave with regrets.
Yeah. I live my life like that.
Yeah, it'd be stupid to sit there and think, oh man, I'm glad I saved that money and not brought my car to America and traveled around the country with my friends.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't do that.
Yeah, and I feel like I've got a lot to offer here in America. As far as the burnout as a sport, as I said, I'm passionate about what I do. And if I can pass on some information to some guys here and have a good time doing it, I feel like I'm doing the right thing for the sport. And if I can grow this sport in this country, it's only going to benefit us at home.
Yeah.
The crossover, one day I think there's going to be an American versus an Australian burnout competition, and guys like Garrett and Western, like there's a whole bunch of guys that are sort of getting into burnouts. But
I think people will pop up that nobody expected as well is part of it, because you're going to bring new blood into the sport, and people that drag race or drift that have all this parts and knowledge may decide to step into the different ring.
You would be extremely surprised with the amount of messages I've gotten in the last week from really famous people saying, dude, I want to do this. How do I get it done? I can tell you one, Jeff Lutz, I took him for a ride at SEMA. Drag race guy, through and through. He's like, man, this thing is badass. I want one. Mm-hmm. So there's an opportunity to get someone like Jeff into the sport that will only boost the burnout profile here in America. So I think we're in a good position to really take this to the next level. And guys like Cletus, they can, they've already been trying to do this for a number of years, and I feel like we're all just going to help each other make it something, impressive, and we can compete at the highest level in America and Australia.
Yeah. Well, there's probably there's already a good infrastructure with what Garrett's done, and having his own facility, obviously that helps a lot. But what was there was people that were commenting that were like, oh, Americans don't know how to do it. But those people probably don't have burnout cars in Australia, so
at all.
They don't matter, but
or a car at all in general.
Yeah, exactly. That's normally how it goes.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to drive. The best drivers are always standing on the fence or in the bleachers. Mm-hmm. That's how it always is. The best cars are always in the shop.
Yeah.
And the best drivers are in the bleachers.
Yeah.
But what was the community thoughts? Because you probably talked to a ton of people before you decided to send it over. Were they go do it, or were they oh, you're going to miss out on all the burnouts here?
Yeah, it was 50-50. I didn't tell a lot of people. For myself, I just make something up in my head, and this happened pretty quickly. I had a bit of a deal going on. I was always going to come to SEMA to do something cool, because that's what I want to do. And originally I wasn't bringing my car. I was going to leave it at home, and I was going to build a car here in America. Mm-hmm. And in the end, this guy, he rang me up and he goes, listen, this is what you need to do. And he helped me out a lot, which is Gut from Power Cruise. He goes, if you want to do this seriously, he's got an event here in America as well. It's somewhere like 2-3 days drive from here.
Yeah, I think it's like Michigan or something.
Yeah. And which is a really fantastic event in Australia. It's a track-driven thing. But he goes, if you want to do that, I'm happy to help you out. But he goes, in return, you got to bring your car to my event for the next 2 years.
Okay.
I said, yeah. But the money, he helped me out tremendously. And in the end, I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. And I didn't really tell a lot of people because it was just like, I told a few people and they look at me like I'm crazy or like just they didn't comprehend what I was trying to do. What do you mean you're putting your car on an airplane? What do you mean you're going to America? When's it coming home? Where are you going to leave it? What's this? What's that? I couldn't tell them those answers. Yeah. So I just sort of kept it pretty quiet and just did it. But the few people I did tell, they're like, someone answers soon. What are you going to do? You've got this golden ticket. You can go and win the Masters if you try hard enough and all the rest of it. But I felt like that was the sad part, was having to leave that behind because I'm not going to get another car built. And even if I did, I won't get a ticket because there's a rule if you change chassis, you're done.
Oh, because that car has to be specifically the one that doesn't. All right.
So I lost that. That was the sad part about leaving Australia. But I will, don't get me wrong, I'll build another car. And the next car I build is in the plans now, and it's going to be the wildest burnout car on the planet. I know it. It has to be. It's in my head. I don't know if it'll work. With the technology we have right now, I think it'll work. But I'm going to blow some stuff up trying to make it work. But that's a whole nother deal. But having Luxifer here in America is, as I said, it's not everyone agreed, but a lot of people support. So now it's here. Guys that really didn't care what I did, but they're sending me messages saying, man, good on you for living the dream and trying, whatever. So that's nice to get some support as well.
I think I'm pumped that you did that, and it's sad because there was a time where that exact thing that you're talking about was almost a reality. A bunch of Australians here, and then everybody got sick all at the same time in the whole world. Yeah, and that kind of put the whole end on that. Yeah, I was told that everyone was sick. So because Killa Bee was here, Warbird was here, and they were planning to come over and use the cars and travel around and all that stuff. It was going to be the first push, and I think that would have been a start of it all. And it sucks that it was pushed back, 4 or 5 years almost. At this point. Thankfully, Killa Bee still got to stay here. I don't know what Steve's doing now. I don't know if he built a new car or what.
I don't think so. I'm not sure. It's I don't really know the bloke personally. He was before my time. I don't even really know the guys with Warbird because they're from
Castleman Rod Shop.
Yeah, I know of them. Yeah. And they commented on my thing the other day and said, "Well done, man. Have a great time." And I was like, sort of feel like, oh, this was you guys, a couple of years ago.
I know it's sad. They were here. They did 98% of that, and then right when it was all they were about to come and use them, it all broke down. It was such a bummer.
I was sitting in my lounge room the week before I left, and there come up something on the news about strain 97 and it's going to shut down the world. I'm thinking, knowing my luck, this is what happens to me. But because I put my car on a plane, instead of 3 months of what ifs, I was on the plane with the car. Shout out to Cathay Pacific Cathay Cargo. Those guys did me a solid. They put my car on a plane. And they said, "You want to go on the plane?" I said, "What do you mean go on the plane? Am I sitting on a box with a cargo net, a ratchet strap around
in the car?"
Yeah, in the car. And they go, no, there's seats in that. You'll be fine. They put me on the plane. I travelled to America with my car on 3 different planes.
Okay. So it had to move. 2 different planes. It had to move planes too?
Yeah, in Singapore. Yeah, Hong Kong. It changed planes. Wow. I was in Hong Kong for a day. I had to wait for them to change planes. But it was one of the most crazy experiences of my life. On a cargo plane, there's no doors on the cockpit. So I'm sitting behind the pilot when he's flying this 747 jumbo jet. It is like a big plane. Yeah. And I'm sitting there. I got to experience the whole deal. And you can't, and the guys literally said, the guys at Cathay said, money can't buy this experience. I said, well, it did. It cost me, I'll tell you, 70,000 Australian dollars to fly the car one way.
Oh, man, that's an expensive trip.
Yeah, 70 grand gone down the drain.
You could have built one here for that.
No.
You would have been close.
No. Not to the standard I'd want, and not to, don't get me wrong.
Well, because what is that US then? Is it like
that's
50?
About, 45.
45? Yeah, you couldn't build one for 45 in the US.
No. Oh, if you had sponsors and stuff.
70 in the US, I think you could build a pretty good Burnout.
70 would probably get you, yep.
Yeah, but 50, 45 US probably wouldn't.
But the big thing for me in my head, and a lot of people said, just go build another one. It's like, yep. I don't have a workshop.
Yeah.
Don't have any tools. Don't have anyone that knows what they're doing. I don't even know where to get parts. I got none of that. And I'm thinking, you know what? This is not going to work. And the other side of the story is my car is so reliable, touch wood, because I don't really want to say that's definitely
It's all wood. You're good.
It's all wood. It's so reliable. So I went to Hoonigan and I beat the hell out of that car for 5 days straight. Mm-hmm. I've gone to Westons, I beat the hell out of it there. I'm pretty much confident I can go and beat the hell out of it anywhere, and most things are good. You build a new car and there's all these question marks about every component on the car.
Yep.
So take something I know is good and reliable and I can put on a show, go over there and maybe build something in someone else's shed and shop and try and find the right parts. A lot of parts on this car are Australian manufactured and made. You can't get them here because they work for Burnout cars and don't necessarily have that here. So,
guys, thank you for tuning in to the Bogetti Clips YouTube channel. For the full podcast, check us out on Bogetti Studios YouTube and all your audio platforms. Also, hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of the new Bogetti clips coming up.